Hello everyone, and welcome into our 2022 football season previews as we break down by position the upcoming Red Hawk football team for 2022. I'm Steve Baker, joined by the head coach of the Red Hawks, Chuck Martin. And Coach, before we jump into a position by position, camp getting ready to start as we record this and getting things ready, I gotta ask, with the portal and NIL and everything else, has it been harder to put together the roster of what you're going to need for the upcoming season because of guys leaving, guys you want to find? Has high school recruiting been a little different because of that?
Yeah, it's been way different. Obviously, we don't have any experience dealing with basically free agency 365 days a year. It's not quite that bad, but obviously we lost some kids in January at the end of the season like everybody did. You're not necessarily prepared for that because they don't give you really a heads up that they're leaving. So then you have to then kind of scramble and fill your roster. We were fortunate after spring we didn't lose anyone. Some other teams took some hits at the end of spring also. So it's definitely in the future of less of building a roster. You used to do it long-term, 4 or 5 years. It's going to be a lot more year to year. There'll be some kids that stick with you for 4 or 5 years, but there'll be kids that won't, and everybody will experience more turnover, more guys in, more guys out. So it'll be more like who can manage the roster for a year and then reload and manage the roster for next year. And it won't be that extreme, but it'll be that way a lot. We had some holes to fill. We lost our top 4 defensive ends. We could have had 2 of them coming back, but 2 of them didn't come back, and then we had 2 seniors. So all of a sudden now you're in a situation where you thought you had your classes set right that you're going to be fine there, but now you got to go find some guys because otherwise you're going to play some young kids that probably aren't quite ready to play, and you're not going to have the depth for sure that you need. So it was definitely way different than anything we've ever been through dealing with this, and we spent a ton of time on it. And like everybody else, we just kind of trudged through, and you figure out what your needs were, and you try to go recruit to the best of your ability. Like I said, you still have 85 scholarships. When kids leave, they don't take their scholarships with them, so you still have the ability to replace and try to continue to make your ball club better.
All right, well, let's begin our breakdown. And on this first episode, we'll start with the offensive line. Again, some losses, but you really had some depth there last year, I think, and you got some guys coming back and they're going to be solid up front for you.
Yeah, it's a big year for us up front. We got to take a big jump forward. We've been just okay up there. We haven't been bad in our offense line, but we haven't been, certainly hasn't been a dominant group in a long time here. We have 4 starters returning. When you talk about, you got your 2 tackles with Vaughn and Holsky, who have a huge upside for us, and they're both young and played obviously every game last year. And then you got Shafe and Rusty, who are proven veteran guys now and have played a ton of football back to 19. So you got 4 guys coming back, and they've had a great offseason, and we're looking for big things. And then you only lose Redding up front as far as starters. We lost some quality backups that have been in our program for a long time, which those guys we miss. But Colby Borders and Brecky are trying to step in. John Brecky trying to step into that one open starting position. And I think we'll have some good depth behind it. We have some experience behind it with the Ben Jacksons and the Jados and the Charlie Nanks and the Caleb Seeks. So, but having 4 guys, and we've been solid at our O-line. We haven't been great, all right? And I think this group can take solid and be well above average or even be a great group depending on their mindset and what they put into it. But if we have running backs, we have a quarterback, we have enough receivers, we have tight ends, if we can become a dominant offensive line, we could have an offense that's scary to contend with. If we don't, we'll still be good. We've been able to carve out enough of a run game and whip it around enough, but if we protect Brett and open up holes, like if we run the ball like we did against North Texas, we're going to have a big year on offense with the skill guys we got coming back.
Very good. That's the offensive line. We'll go to the other side of the football and talk about the big guys up front on our next episode.